Magic was once common in a world inhabited by mythical creatures, though it was difficult to master. After technological advances over the years, magic became obsolete and was largely discarded. In a time similar to our own, Ian Lightfoot, an elf high schooler with low self-esteem, and his older brother, Barley, a history and role-playing game enthusiast, live in the city of New Mushroomton. Wilden, their father, died shortly before Ian was born, and their mother, Laurel, has a new boyfriend, Centaur police officer Colt Bronco, who both Ian and Barley dislike. They also have a dragon as a pet. It's Ian's 16th birthday. He begins his day by getting dressed up in his father's sweatshirt and heads downstairs to meet his mother. His mother tells him that she has prepared food for his party later at night, to which he says that he's not going to invite anyone. On his way to school, he stops by a place called Burgershire, where he meets his father's friend from college. His father's friend tells him stories about their college days and how his father used to wear a pair of ugly purple socks every time and how he was confident and bold. At school, Ian makes a to-do list for his grown-up new self in which he writes: 1. Speak up more. 2. Learn to drive. 3. Invite people to the party. 4. Be like Dad. Later at school, he takes part in test driving, but when the time comes to merge in the traffic, he freaks out and says that he's not ready yet. At the end of the day, he prepares himself to talk to some of his classmates and invite them to the party. Once he awkwardly invites them to the party, his brother Barley shows up in his van and embarrasses him in front of everyone he had invited. Before leaving for home with Barley, he tells them that the party is cancelled and feels really disappointed with himself. When he comes home, he's really sad, so he plays a tape which has his dad's voice recorded. He deeply wishes to talk and meet his dad just for once. Later he asks his mom what was his dad like and if he was always confident. His mom tells him that he wasn't always confident and it took him a while to figure out who he really was. His mother then tells them that she has a gift for him and Barley from their dad. He tells them that Wilden asked her to give them the gift when they both are over 16. Laurel gives the brothers the gift from Wilden, a magical staff, a rare gem, and a letter describing a visitation spell that can resurrect their father for a single day. Barley recognizes the Phoenix gemstone from his historical board game and gets really excited to use the spell and bring their dad back. When Barley performs the spell, he keeps failing and gives up at last. Ian accidentally succeeds in casting the spell, but only the lower half of Wilden's body is reformed before the gem disintegrates. According to the spell, their dad can only be revived for 24 hours and they have just a day to find the gemstone and finish casting the spell. Barley grabs a deck of cards from his game based on real life and takes out 2 cards from it. One card of the Manticore's Tavern and another of the Phoenix Gem. Barley tells Ian that he knows exactly where they have to go to get the gem. The brothers embark on a quest to acquire another gem and complete the spell, taking Barley's beloved van Guinevere. While sitting in the van, Ian makes another to-do list of the things he wants to do with his dad once he's revived. Meanwhile, Barley tells Ian to practice some magic from the spells that are written in the book of his favorite game. Finding the boys gone, Laurel leaves in her car for the Manticore's Tavern to find them. In search of a map to the gem, Ian and Barley reach the Manticore's Tavern. Once they enter the tavern, they find out that it's actually a family restaurant managed by the manticore, Kori. Barley and Ian ask Kori about the whereabouts of the map and shows her their father's legs. They also tell her the whole story. She refuses to give them the map and tells them that she'll no longer send people on dangerous quests. Arguing with Ian over the map, Kori drives the customers away in a fit of rage, accidentally setting fire to the restaurant and the map. The brothers' only clue to the gem is a children's menu suggesting Raven's Point, a nearby mountain. Ian suggests taking the expressway to reach faster to the mountain, but Barley tells him that the expressway is too obvious and a quest is never that easy, so they should instead take the ancient trail called the Path of Peril. Ian doesn't agree with him and tells him that he knows that he wants it to be adventurous, but they should focus on reaching as soon as possible rather than on adventure. So they decide to take the expressway. Laurel is on her way to the Manticore's tavern. When she reaches there, she finds that the place is on fire. Upon asking about two elf brothers, she meets Kori and later befriends her. She warns that the brothers' journey may awaken a curse that can only be defeated by her special sword, which she had to sell. Together, Laurel and Kori visit a pawn shop where she had sold her sword. There, the owner of the pawn shop is demanding $10,000 for it, so Kori paralyzes him with her sting, and then Laurel steals the sword from the pawn shop. Ian and Barley run out of gas, and the van comes to a halt in the middle of nowhere, with no gas station in sight. In order to increase the small amount of fuel in the fuel can, Barley asks Ian to cast a growth spell on it. When Ian tries to cast the spell, Barley keeps distracting him, transforming him into a tiny human the size of pixie fairies. Ian decides to walk to the gas station along with his father's half-revived body and tiny Barley. When they reach the gas station, they encounter a motorcycle gang of sprites, and then Barley gets in a fight with one of the sprites over their history. Traveling to the mountains, Ian and Barley narrowly escape the motorcycle gang of sprites, relying on Ian's new spellcasting abilities and Barley's role-playing game tricks. While they're escaping from the motorcycle gang, they're stopped by the police for rash driving. Barley suggests Ian cast a disguise spell on him. They both then disguise themselves as Colt and somehow succeed in fooling the police. They get in the van and run away, but one of the police officers grows suspicious of them and contacts the real officer Colt. Barley is sad because when the cops asked Colt if he thinks Barley is a screw-up and he said no, one of his parts turned into an elf, implying that he was lying and that he does think Barley is a screw-up. Barley blasts the music on high in the car to avoid listening to whatever Ian is saying. When they stop to get some drink, their father's legs come out of the van and starts dancing because he can feel the vibration of music. Both of them then dance with their dad. Meanwhile, Colt spots the number plate of Barley's van at the beginning of the ancient trail and starts following them on the path of peril. Barley and Ian continue moving on the path of peril and come across a huge bottomless pit and an ancient drawbridge to cross it. They start to look around for the lever and Ian spots it on the other end of the bottomless pit. Barley requests that Ian cast a spell to build a magical bridge. When Ian attempts to cast the spell, he keeps failing, and Barley assures him that he can do it if he believes. Ian asks Barley to tie him to the rope for safety, but the rope comes undone halfway through, and Ian crosses the magical bridge by himself, successfully drawing the bridge down. Raven's Point leads them on a trail marked by a series of raven statues, but Colt follows them, calling in reinforcements. Barley asks Ian to cast a powerful spell that will cause the lightning to strike and will landslide to block the police officer's way. When Ian fails to cast the spell, Barley sacrifices Guinevere to cause a landslide, blocking their pursuers. Both brothers reach to a raven pointing to the ground and find a clue saying that the gem can be found at the end of the cave, where the water ends. Following the statues, the brothers descend through a cave and avoid a series of traps and deadly creatures. They also face huge green gelatin which devours everything it touches. When they succeed in passing through all traps, they surface in front of Ian's high school. Ian lashes out at Barley for leading them on a wild goose chase and walks away with Wilden after he goes as far as to call Barley a screw-up and for ruining his chance to have the one thing he never had. Ian tells Barley that it would have been better if they had chosen the expressway to go to the mountain. Rereading his list of things he always wished to do with his father, Ian realizes that Barley has been a father figure throughout his entire life and returns to make amends. Meanwhile, Barley searches for the gem everywhere near the high school and finally reaches a historical fountain. Barley discovers the gem inside the historic fountain and retrieves it, triggering the curse, which turns the high school into an artificial dragon bent on claiming the gem. Ian faces the artificial dragon, but his staff is knocked into the ocean. He reforms it from a splinter from the staff stuck in his hand and continues the fight. Kori flies in carrying Laurel, who plunges the magic sword into the artificial dragon's heart, buying Ian time to cast the visitation spell and fully reform Wilden's body. Barley tells Ian to stay with his dad and have his last chance to meet him, but Ian tells him that he has always had him, Barley, as a father figure throughout his life. Ian then sends Barley ahead to give his goodbye to Wilden and holds off the artificial dragon long enough for Laurel to destroy it. After Wilden has left, Barley tells Ian that their father is proud of him, and the brothers hug. Ian's confidence and spellcasting abilities improve, and he surprises Barley by painting his new van Guinevere II. Kori reopens her tavern, luring customers with tales of past adventures, while Ian and Barley continue their quest.